4 albums, 4 consecutive years, 400 million streams minimum per project, and a Grammy nomination before he even hit his stride. If you told the version of Ahmed Ololade who was sleeping on a 25,000 naira flight ticket, hustling for any stage he could get onto, sending DMs to label bosses who never replied, if you told that guy what the next 4 years were going to look like, he would not have believed you. But here we are, May 2026. Asake just dropped Money, his 4th studio album, and once again, the internet has opinions, the charts are moving, and Nigeria cannot stop talking. I am your host, you are locked in with Pulse Nation, and today we are telling the full story of the man, the sound, and the question that the entire music industry keeps asking about him. Let's go. Before we talk about the Rolls-Royce helicopter entrance at the O2 Arena, before we talk about the Grammy nomination, before we talk about 4 albums in 4 years, we need to go back to where this story actually starts. Because Asake's rise is one of those stories that looks like an overnight success from the outside and looks like a decade of quiet warfare from the inside. Ahmed Ololade was born in Lagos. He studied theater arts at Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. While his course mates were thinking about graduation and job applications, Ahmed was already thinking about stages. He performed anywhere he could get a spot: street performances, campus events, underground shows. He was not waiting for permission. He was creating visibility from nothing. His pre-fame recordings were raw. The voice was already there. The Yoruba Fuji cadence and the call and response structure that would later become his signature, all of it was already in his DNA before a single producer had properly heard it. He was posting music, building a small but devoted local following, and spending what little he had on whatever kept him in the game. He once mentioned flying on a 25,000 naira plane ticket. That detail matters. Not because poverty is something to romanticize, it is not, but because it tells you something about the level of commitment. You do not spend the last of your money on an airplane ticket to chase a music career unless you are absolutely certain that the alternative, stopping, is not survivable. For years, the YBNL doors stayed closed. He sent messages, he tried different angles, he even tried to use a connection, pointing out that he and Fireboy DML had been in school together, that if Fireboy got a place at YBNL, then surely he deserved to listen too. The messages went unanswered, or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. What actually happened was that a friend, Yomi, got in a room with Olamide and played the song. That's all it took. One song, one room, one person willing to advocate for him in the right moment. Olamide heard it, liked it, reached out, and the collaboration that followed, Omo, released in January 2022, changed everything. The lesson in that detail is something every creative person should sit with. Years of work, years of closed doors, and then one friend, one moment, one song. The preparation was always there. The opportunity just needed to find it.
Now, let us talk about the music, because the numbers and the awards and the headlines mean nothing if you do not understand what Asake actually built sonically. Before Asake, Amapiano was a South African genre, full stop. The log drums, the low-slung bass line, the piano stabs, that was Johannesburg and Pretoria's gift to the world, and it was already taking over the continent by 2021. But it was South African. It sounded South African. It moved like a Soweto basement party at 2 a.m. What Asake and his producer Magicsticks did was something that nobody had quite thought to do before. They took those heavy, mechanical late-night log drums from the South African sound and they layered them with something entirely different: the communal choral structures of Yoruba Fuji music, the call and response vocals, the spiritual, almost devotional energy of a genre that has its roots in Islamic praise singing, the specific texture of Yoruba street music, which is warm and communal and almost chaotic in the best possible way. The result was a hybrid that belonged to nobody's existing category. It wasn't Amapiano, it wasn't Fuji, it wasn't Afrobeats in the conventional sense. It was its own thing. And the name that stuck, Fuji Amapiano, is the most accurate description of a genuinely new sonic invention in Nigerian music in years. You can hear it in every Asake song. The chorus that arrives in the chorus, the way his voice functions less like a lead vocal and more like the front section of a communal chant. He sings and you are supposed to respond, supposed to fill in the space, supposed to become part of the music rather than just a listener of it. Music journalist Joey Akan described it perfectly when he said, Asake's little secret is how much he calls for your participation. His records make you a co-author. You are not just playing the song, you are completing it. That is a genuinely unusual quality in pop music. Most pop music is designed to be consumed passively. Asake's music is designed to be inhabited. That is why it travels. That is why you can hear it in Lagos and London and Johannesburg and New York, and the feeling is identical in every room. The music does not need translation because the structure of it, the invitation, the response, the communal energy is universal. Magicsticks deserves enormous credit that is not always given. The production work on every Asake album is not just serviceable, it's architected. The log drum programming is precise. The way the piano sits under the vocals gives Asake's higher register room to breathe. The sonic consistency across 4 albums without becoming formulaic is a production achievement that gets lost in the conversation about Asake's personality and output speed. Now, the thing that divides people, the thing that music journalists have been writing think pieces about since 2023, the speed. Mr. Money with the Vibe in September 2022, Work of Art in June 2023, Lungu Boy in August 2024, Money in May 2026, 4 studio albums in under 4 years, while simultaneously dropping collaborative EPs, features, singles, and tour runs that would exhaust artists half his age. The music industry consensus, at least among the commentator class, has been skeptical. The same tempo, the same choral structure, the same log drum signature. Are people going to get tired of this? Is he cannibalizing his own catalog? Is he sacrificing depth for velocity? I want to give both sides of this argument properly. The critics are not entirely wrong. When you listen to all 4 albums back to back, there is a sonic consistency that, depending on your mood, either feels like mastery or repetition. The Asake formula, Fuji choral opener, log drum verse, call and response pre-chorus, anthemic hook is so reliable that on first listen, new songs can feel familiar. Lonely at the Top off Work of Art and certain tracks on Money occupy similar emotional and sonic space. If you are a casual listener rather than a devoted fan, the 4th album might feel like the 2nd album with a different title. But here is the counter-argument, and I think it is the stronger one. We are not in the 1990s. The economics of attention in the streaming era are completely different from the economics of attention in the CD era. In the 1990s, scarcity built mystique. If Fela Kuti disappeared for 2 years, people waited and the return felt like an event. In 2024, if you disappear for 2 years, someone else has your audience. The algorithm does not hold your seat. The playlist curators move on. The casual listener has been giving 17 new things to love, and the slot your music occupied in their rotation has been filled. Asake understands this dynamic better than most of his peers. He has not just stayed in the room, he has made the room his. Every album cycle keeps him in the conversation, keeps new listeners entering his catalog, keeps his streaming numbers compounding. His back catalog benefits from every new release because each new project sends curious listeners back to the beginning. And when you look closely at each album, the evolution is real even if the signature is consistent. Mr. Money was hungry street energy. Work of Art was more reflective, more willing to sit in sadness. Lungu Boy was his international passport. Travis Scott, Central C, a deliberate reach toward a global audience. Money, his 4th, opens not with a club banger, but with a haunting life of faith performance that shows an artist comfortable enough in his success to stop performing urgency. That is a genuine arc. 4 albums, and you can trace the emotional biography of a man growing into his own mythology.
The YBNL chapter and the exit. You cannot tell the Asake story without telling the YBNL story. And you cannot tell the YBNL story without acknowledging that it ended, publicly, without a joint statement. YBNL Nation is Olamide's label, one of the most important institutions in Nigerian street music's history. Lil Kesh, Adekunle Gold, Fireboy DML, CK. The roster reads like a syllabus for a course on Nigerian pop culture in the 2010s and 2020s. When Asake signed in February 2022, he was joining a machine that understood his specific kind of talent, raw, street-rooted, melodically adventurous, better than any other label in Lagos would have. The YBNL era produced everything, almost. Sungba with Burna Boy, the debut album, work of art, the tours, the Grammy nomination, the O2 Arena sellout. If you are building the argument that YBNL was essential to Asake's trajectory, the evidence is overwhelming. But by December 2024, the signs were visible. He removed YBNL from his Instagram bio, he unfollowed the label and its affiliates, he was absent from the Flytime Festival, where Olamide headlined. No statement, no announcement, just the quiet digital signals of a relationship that had run its course. In February 2025 came the confirmation. Asake had parted ways with YBNL, and almost immediately came the next chapter.
Giron Republic,
his own independent label, launched in partnership with Empire, the American distribution and services company. This is a significant move that deserves to be understood properly. Empire is not just a distributor, it is a partner infrastructure that gives independent artists major label reach without major label control. Asake retains ownership of his masters, controls his creative direction, and keeps the economic upside of his catalog entirely. The deal with Empire gives him global infrastructure, marketing, distribution, sync licensing, playlist relationships, without giving away the catalog that his 4 albums have built. Whether the Olamide relationship ended badly or simply concluded naturally is something neither party has confirmed publicly. What Asake has consistently done in interviews, continuing to give Olamide credit, continuing to speak about the YBNL chapter with respect, suggests that whatever the personal dynamics, the professional respect remains. That kind of public grace is not accidental. It is a choice, and it says something about the kind of artist Asake wants to be seen as.
Let us talk about the Grammy nomination, because it is easy to say Grammy-nominated artist and move on. But the specific nomination matters. Asake was nominated for Best African Music Performance at this year's Grammy Award for Lonely at the Top from Work of Art. This is not just a validation of Asake personally, it is a statement about the specific hybrid sound he created. Best African Music Performance is a relatively new Grammy category, created in 2023 as the Recording Academy acknowledged that lumping all African music into a single world music category was no longer defensible given the scale and diversity of what African artists were producing. The category exists because Afrobeats, Amapiano, and their hybrids had become too commercially and culturally significant to be treated as a footnote to European or American music. When Asake gets a nomination in that category for a track that specifically represents the Fuji Amapiano fusion he pioneered, the Grammy committee is essentially acknowledging that the sonic invention was real, that the hybrid is not a gimmick but a genuine contribution to the global musical vocabulary. For Pulse Nation viewers, particularly anyone making music right now, thinking about what their sound is and what it needs to be, that's the lesson worth extracting. Asake did not chase a trend. He did not make a version of what was already working. He took 2 things he loved, fused them in a way that hadn't been done, and built an audience around the result. The Grammy nomination is not the point. It is the consequence of the point. The point was always the music.
The latest chapter in Asake's story began with a single lyric on his new album, one line, and the internet did what the internet does. The lyric on Money invoked a phrase associated with a particular period of Nigerian economic and political history, a phrase that carries real weight for people who lived through what that phrase was used to justify. For some listeners, it was a harmless metaphor of self-belief and manifestation. For others, and this is where the conversation got complicated, during one of the most polarizing economic periods in modern Nigerian history, using that phrase in a song called Money felt like more than metaphor. I am not going to adjudicate that debate on this channel. That is a conversation Nigerians are having among themselves, and it is a legitimate one. What I will say is this: Asake has never been an overtly political artist. His music is about aspiration, community, spiritual resilience, and the specific texture of life in Lagos streets. When a lyric lands in a politically charged moment and generates controversy, the instinct is either to defend the artist entirely or condemn him entirely. Both responses miss the more interesting question. Art does not exist in a vacuum. The same line that reads as innocent wordplay on an album recorded 6 months ago lands differently in a country experiencing specific economic pressures today. That is not a failure of the artist. That is what happens when art is alive enough to generate real reactions. Dead art does not start arguments. Whatever you think of the lyric, one thing is certain. It kept Asake in the conversation exactly at the moment money was trying to announce itself. Whether that was calculated or coincidental is something only he knows.
What I actually think when I sit with the full arc of this story. Asake's journey from 25,000 naira plane tickets to Grammy nominations and O2 Arena helicopter entrances is remarkable. But the most remarkable thing about it is not the speed or the scale. It is the consistency of identity throughout. He has not changed his sound to please critics who said he was too niche. He has not slowed down to satisfy journalists who said he was moving too fast. He has not pretended the YBNL chapter didn't happen, and he has not performed bitterness about how it ended. He has not let the controversy around a single lyric become the story of an entire album. He has just kept being exactly who he was in the OAU campus shows and the street performances and the DMs that went unanswered for years. Consistent, hungry but not desperate, confident but not careless. Don Jaji called him an all-rounder. Blackbone described him as the greatest performer in Nigerian music while he was still unsigned. Burna Boy heard Sungba and jumped on the remix immediately. These are not small endorsements. These are three of the most discerning ears in the game, all pointing at the same person and saying, "That one. Pay attention to that one." And if you are a young creative watching this, in Lagos, in Johannesburg, in London, wherever Pulse Nation reaches you, the Asake lesson is not complicated. The sound you have that nobody has validated yet might be the sound that changes everything. The room that keeps its door closed will eventually open, not because you forced it, but because you stayed ready long enough for someone on the inside to finally hear you. The 25,000 naira plane ticket. Remember that. This has been Pulse Nation. Drop your favorite Asake track in the comments. Like the video if this story moved you. Subscribe if you want more stories like this one. I will see you in the next one.